Hi, everybody. My name is Angus Wright, and I also go by Angus by design. And I use they and he as my pronouns of choice. I'm connecting from my home in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And today I am feeling more connected than ever. I appreciate all of these options and choices in order to connect with people and my peers and community of practice. Some highlights from my week so far are that I'm trying a new medication and I'm exploring what that means to my overall wellness. I've been sharing that with friends, family, and people in my community in an open and vulnerable way so that I can be open to their feedback in case there's any adverse side effects that I may not like. But also, I trust in a lot of people in very specific ways to check in with them about consistencies in my life. And so it really does help me to be connected to a community of practice. I always love going for coffee and walks with my dog Bo. So that's always a highlight. Something I'd like to focus on today is just myself, honestly. I am on a path of trying some new things, being open to some new things, and getting ready for some exciting projects and ideas that I have for this summer. And someone that I'd like to connect with is people online, people who resonate with my story or my situation or my page or my journals or my whatever. I love to connect with people who resonate with me and in meaningful ways, whatever that looks like. A hope or a goal that I have for today is just in getting some food into my belly. I'm due to eat, and I would like to experience maybe some hot peanut butter toast. That's what I think I'm craving. So I'll probably do that after I make this little video. My favorite thing to wear is, if I'm honest, I don't like wearing anything. The more free I can be, the more free I feel. But if I had to choose clothing, I really love stuff that's comfortable, and it varies as to the activity I'm doing. But some of my favorite things are my hoodies. I love my lounge pants. I love wearing scarves and things around my neck that are loose fitting. I love everything with color. I also love t-shirts. My favorite things to wear are like old vintage t-shirts or t-shirts that I've made or found along the way. I love anything with a story. A story, movie, or song I love. Well, I love all of the stories of Hanuman, and I love to follow the teachings and just the inspirations that can come from the stories of Hanuman. He's a little monkey who's loyal to love, and he loves Rama, who he feels devoted to. So I really love that as a story. A movie I love, well, you'll see it referenced here. So a movie I really love is The Birdcage with Robin Williams and Nathan Lane. It's a classic. And a song I love is what's a song I love? I really love Kenny Rogers. You gotta know when to hold 'em, when to fold 'em. I love the classics. So what you'll see here is some speech bubbles. You'll see the words connect, empower, and revitalize. Those three things, connections, empowering each other, and revitalizing, those are concepts that came from a certification training that I did. If you look up Dr. Daniel Fisher, if you check out the National Empowerment Center, you may hear about a certification program called eCPR or Emotional CPR. Essentially, it's the story of Dr. Daniel Fisher, who was diagnosed with schizophrenia, amongst other things. But he shares a personal experience where he really couldn't communicate seemingly with the outside world. He couldn't make those connections. And that one of the stories he tells is where the couple of orderlies that were in a facility that was helping to support and treat him, they were just really kind and really engaging with him in a way that felt natural and meaningful. And at one point, in an ongoing interaction, the person that was supporting him said, "If you understand me, just nod." And I found it quite powerful when Dr. Daniel Fisher says that he was able to nod, and that was like the very first step in a series of probably a billion steps, my words, of reconnecting with himself and then reconnecting with the outside world. And from that comes this curriculum, this program, this model, and this framework for learning how we can connect with our feelings and resonate with each other, right? Connect with what's important, the personhood, what we're feeling, what we're experiencing, so that we're not, disconnected from each other before we even have a chance to connect. So I'm a practitioner, a qualified practitioner. I've done a couple of courses, one in Canada, one with the National Empowerment Center, and I've had a chance to do some other stuff around these things and put this into practice in my own life. So that's why you see it here. This is a program slide, a presentation that I made a year ago, and so it was brought back up into a community of practice that I was in today. So that's why we're here now. So the sort of overall theme of the practice a year ago was part of an Affirming Rainbow Peer Circle that I'm in, and we were really looking at exploring what chosen family can actually mean, right? And how we can define our family of choice. So again, I'm Angus Wright. I also go by Angus by Design. If you want to know more, hear more, see more, do more, please feel free to follow my personal blog. You can find that at angusbydesign.com. I've been blogging my life based on this mantra, this moniker, this identity of mine for more than 10 years now. I've been blogging for a very long time, but Angus by Design was something that I've created and focused on for the last decade or so. So families aren't always born to each other. Sometimes you're scattered far and wide, separated by years and miles, but inevitably you find your way into each other's lives because in every way that matters, you are kindred. Here's to chosen family. And this is a quote, that's found on the internet. You'll find them all over the place. The website's available underneath there. If you need it, let me know. But the principle and the idea is the same, right? So, and then there's an image that shows chosen family is real family. And it shows a variety of different skin tones. And then on this image as well, there's some words: I know, I see, I speak, I love, I do, I feel, I am. Each of these could be a complete sentence, but they can also be a launching point for making personal affirmations. And the work I do, the life work I do, the brain I do, the me I do, I really do try to focus on, hope. What hope can I have? What hope can I hold? What's my personal responsibility? What's my self-responsibility? What are my stakes in anything that I'm involved in, engaged in? How am I educating myself and others, right? What does education even look like or mean to me? And I'm not formally educated, right? But I am certainly very educated when it comes to things that I'm engaged in. Self-advocacy, and that's important, and as well as support, right? So the questions I was asking were, how can you apply this to your own wellness this week, and what does it mean to you? So if you have answers to those and you wish to engage those with me, please feel free to like, comment, share, email, high five, smoke signals, rent an airplane. Feel free to engage in me in any way that's meaningful to you. So I also shared, so this was a practice. I love a scene from The Birdcage where Albert is trying to rehearse a number, and his protege, his backup, his support is feeling really objectified and not feeling like he's being captured in that moment. And so the director, played by Robin Williams, who is the character Albert's partner, comes up to try to give some form of direction. And in response to this dancer who feels objectified and unheard, Robin Williams launches into some advice about how he can express it all, feel it all, do it all, but then keep it inside, right? And I was using that as a metaphor to how it feels in my world. When I experience wanting more, or needing more, having an exacerbated, overwhelmed feeling, and how I can cope with that by knowing that, it all does matter. It's just incremental, right? So basically I was looking at how we can define our family of choice. So I define my family of choice as basically people who follow the same values, ethics, morals, and ways of conducting themselves that I do. I go far and wide to try to be open-minded, try to be inclusive, but really and also just be there for myself, to include myself in a diverse, an accessible community of practice on an ongoing basis. I can't rely on others for that. Unfortunately, I can't make my family love me all the time, right? So even though I do have specific biological family members that I'm connected with, or people that are in my my family of birth and family tree, so to speak, I also don't have a lot of that as well, right? Just because of a bunch of factors. So for me, it's about what does my family of choice look like. So I define it as the people in my life who are very important to me, and whom I would want to be more forgiving and more vulnerable, but also work harder to have in my life. So my family includes people who support me to do the things that I need and want to do, right? So I have a very specific idea of how I want my life to go, and how it could have gone, and how it should go, and all sorts of things, just like everybody else. So my family includes people who support me in a way that's meaningful to me, not always gauging how I support them, right? It's always mutual. And so nobody has to be perfect. We just have to somehow indicate that we're trying. So, people, if I'm looking and exploring on who's in my family, well, people who are in my family of choice would be my dog, Bo. And he's a chosen family member because he is my service dog. He knows how to help me with emotional stuff. He cuddles, he plays rodeo clown, he does all sorts of things. Other people in my family of choice would be, I have cousins who I see as sisters. And I see them as sisters because, we're closer than the average cousin would be. And there were times in our lives where we were living under the same house, and where their mom, my auntie, was actually providing like an above and beyond level of care, and communicating to me that, just because I was in my feelings didn't mean that I wasn't loved, right? So they're chosen. I don't have to label them as cousins, because I have friends who I see as cousins. I have members in my community that I see as cousins. So all of these terms are defined by us, but also in the 2S LGBTQIA plus community, right? The two-spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, intersexed, asexual, plus, cisgendered, transgendered, non-binary, Black, Indigenous, people of culture, people of color. There's all sorts of terms. They're all members of my family too. I wasn't born into them, but I certainly love them enough. I certainly get a lot of love from them, right? I often talk about One New Heartbeat being my chosen family. And why is that? Yes, it's an organization, but it's an organization made up of people who caught me at a time in my life when I didn't feel I had anybody. They provided a safe place for me. So these are examples that I have. But what are some of your examples? How can you apply this to your own wellness this week? And what do these things mean to you? Looking at the image, you might want to look at yourself as the root of that tree, and then look at, who, as you're branching out, who are the members that show up in your world, right? You may not feel like in this moment you have anybody. So this could be an exercise in, hey, if you could meet someone past, present, or future, what would that person look like? For me, having to really define the relationships and the people that I give my energy to has been a pivotal and critical point of my day-to-day wellness and happiness. So I love in every situation and every scenario, including this video, to give an opportunity to check out and to reflect. So please feel free to listen to me, check out, and then share with me in a way, if it means something to you, what the experience was like for you. And it can be as little as just even this little video and this concept. So what I would say is some of the things you may want to reflect on, some of the things you may want to think about, is like on a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 is not helpful and 5 is very helpful. How was this? For me, I would say it's 5. It's very helpful for me to just express myself, to speak up, to journal out loud, to improvise, right? To draft, not to be so precious. And the relevance of the material was 55. It's all about me, myself, and I. I'm very happy with that because I'm the one talking. So it was super duper relevant to me. It was then, and it is now, and it will be later. The group discussion, well, I talked to myself in this moment, but the group discussions, whenever I'm reflecting on these things, these real world things, practicing my tools, accessing things and supports that I can trust, 5. And the presenter, well, oh my gosh, I love the presenter, so 5 all the way. The most helpful part for me was seeing what I wrote, what I created a year ago, knowing that I've been using these as tools, as journaling, as scrapbooking, as wellness recovery tools for a very long time now. I've been presenting things on flip charts and pop charts since the beginning of all the time, right? So it's always helpful to me to just get the extra practice. And the most important thing I learned from myself or others was that, today in a group where I was presenting and seeing a friend of mine present the information, we had a new participant at the end. And when we opened up this feedback, this very style of feedback, I received the feedback that they were disappointed. And of course, in my heart, I'm like, what the heck? Why are you disappointed? But what they shared was they were disappointed that they saw this topic. They saw the invitation to share, but there was no real room to do it. There was no time available, that there was not an opportunity. And so a comment that I made, and that I'd like to make even in this moment about the experience, is that, I explained that the purpose and the focus of the group, which was shared at the beginning of that group, was actually just a webinar live broadcast format, sharing some principles that we did last year and seeing what we could get to in the period of time that we had. Each of those practices involves like a 15-minute warm-up, a 30-minute presentation, and a 15-minute cool down, so to speak. And so it is like jamming 10 pounds of proverbial shit in a 5-pound bag, right? So it was really awesome actually to get that feedback, thank them for that feedback, and then to point out that our hope and our goal was that we would see them in the evening time, when what we do as part of our practice is to set an intention and to create a space to have like those deeper conversations, because that's important. That's also part of the practice, right? And they loved it. They were gonna be there. They said, well, I'll be back tonight to do that. And so we already have a goal, we already have an intention to revisit what we revisited today, this morning. So that's, to me, that's like, I'm thankful for images, I'm thankful for sounds, I'm thankful for breath, I'm thankful for color, I'm thankful for the sun. I love being alive today. And I can support my next step by committing to supporting my next step. Right? I can't predict what they need to be all the time. I can't predict to see whether the steps are going to be the ones I would love or that I've been waiting for or whatever. But what I can do is I can support my next step by focusing on me for today. So if I do that in the moment, right? What that looks like for me in the present is that I believe at the beginning of this, I checked in saying that I was kind of thinking about some peanut butter toast and that I needed to eat. So having remembered that and honoring who I am, and also like honoring that I have toast and bread in my kitchen with some peanut butter, due to my action planning and directive planning practice, I'm going to honor that. I'm going to go and have that. I'm going to let this video upload, and I'm going to watch it back and then decide if I share it, and where and how and why and when, and if I'm open to feedback. So I'm Angus Wright. I also go by Angus by Design. This has been reviewing some programming from last year called Affirming Rainbow Peers, exploring what chosen family can mean and defining our family of choice. If you want to learn more, know more, hear more, see more, or overshare with me, visit angusbydesign.com. I'm at Angus by Design across platforms, and I'm Angus. I also go by they and him. I identify as a non-binary man, and I'm open to exploring, practicing what that looks like and means. I'm open to questions as long as they're respectful and they honor me. And I also spell my name in different ways, which is a way that I express that non-binary approach to life that I take. And so what you see is a different spelling of my name. But those spellings lead back to a pretty cool thing, which is that my name is often referred to as meaning one strength. And so I like to see myself as one individual having a greater one experience. Sabek, right? All connected. So thank you very much for your time and patience in listening to this, and for the love that I continue to receive and the support I continue to receive in my wellness, recovery, action, planning, life, and my way of living, and adopting all of the things and tools that I need to do to stay well and get well and stay connected. And this has been just a bookmark, just a little page out of the overall practice that I've been doing for many, many, many years now. So thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful day. I hope to hear from you. Take care.